My 600-pound life was worse than you thought.
My 600-Pound Life has everything a reality TV show needs to be entertaining. From
I've never touched foot in Africa a day in my life.
Oh, you're costing me my weight loss surgery.
Wait, there's fat people in the UK? I thought this show was about America.
Ruining everything.
To brutal reality checks.
No, I'm American.
You're not gonna be alive much longer the way you live. You want us to write you off as hopeless? Then we will. There is no hope for you.
But what truly keeps viewers coming back are the powerful stories of perseverance and transformation. Seeing the cast in the show struggle the powerful stories of perseverance and transformation.
Did she just put on a different shirt?
Seeing the cast in the show struggle against insurmountable odds, not just for themselves, but for the people they love, is nothing short of inspiring.
So you lost almost 250 pounds. Well, how's your life changed since you started the program?
I mean, I can do so much. Just getting out, doing things, not having to depend on people. Just, take care of myself.
Unfortunately, while the show's premise of helping morbidly obese people lose their weight is great on paper, its execution is far from perfect. Behind the triumphant on-screen moments lies a tangled web of emotional manipulation, neglected mental health, and alleged mistreatment, all of which gets buried beneath the dramatic edits and the uplifting music. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly...
So you mean to tell me, while they're doing all their little thing and they're all like, oh yeah, you're happy, you lost 10 pounds, they're they're over here having breakdowns and everything, and the editors are just editing all that together and then throwing some happy music on top of it? That's actually insane.
YouTube documentaries, and today we're diving into everything wrong with TLC's My 600-Pound Life. How a show meant to change lives for the better has allegedly left many worse off, and at least in one tragic case, pushed someone past the point of no return. For those who haven't seen My 600-Pound Life before, it's a reality TV show that aired its first episode in 2012. It's about bringing on extremely obese people, often weighing way over 600 pounds, and providing them with the resources they need
at least you
to
can walk.
the excess weight, including medical supervision, strict dietary plans, and even weight loss surgery. And while many of the show's participants regain the weight after their appearance...
Y'all about to say, bro, I ain't gonna lie, surgery is not the right answer. Well, yes, it is eventually, but I think you have to build up the healthy habit of eating right, you know what I mean? The mindset, you know what I'm saying? The skinny person mindset. Then you get the surgery, get all the fat off of you, and then you just maintain that same mindset and stuff like that. So that way you don't get back to being 600, 700 pounds. But they don't do that.
Over 4 months since your weight loss surgery, and you already started gaining again. So obviously, that's a very bad situation we have with you.
There are also a number of people who managed to keep the weight off and turn around.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Bro, could you imagine talking to a girl? You talking to her right here. And then she oh yeah, this was me a year ago or something It probably took more than a year, but still. This used to be me. That's crazy, bro. That looks like an edit. Dang. I know she probably feel amazing, bro. Could you imagine, finally waking up and being able to see what color your knees are? That's crazy.
Around their lives for good. Unfortunately, for every person this show helped, there are others who came out with extremely troubling allegations against its producers, like Gina Krasley, who claimed that the show's producers encouraged her to eat more, also they could add more drama to her episodes. If true, this encouraged her to eat more, also they could add more drama to her episodes. If true,
I'm not gonna lie, that's actually insane. Telling her to eat more so that way her episode looks more crazy, that's
this
wild.
allegation implied that the show wasn't just documenting the participants' struggles, it was actively creating it, something that only undermines their recovery, but also calls the entire premise of the show into question. But this is only the tip of the iceberg, because when encouraging more eating doesn't provide the spectacle they were looking for.
Oh my god, where'd they get this sandwich from? Where this at? They got french fries? Bro, I'm not really a big fan of french fries and no sandwich, but this don't look bad though. With the lettuce and then the crazy amount of mayo they got on here. This don't look bad.
The producers resort to deceptive editing to fit the narrative they had in mind. Or at least, that's what happens according to Marla McCants, who did have a successful weight loss journey, but isn't very fond of the show that helped her along the way. One of her scenes showed her in a hospital bed, refusing to get up even a year after her surgery.
Regarding one particular scene where McCants refused to stand up, she revealed that the show warped the timeline, making it seem as if this scene occurred much longer after the surgery.
This made her look like she was just being lazy and stubborn for no reason, when, according to an interview she did later, this couldn't have been further from the truth, with her stating, like, the scene where I was in the hospital and I wouldn't get up. Y'all don't know why I didn't get up. First of all, they put it out there a year ahead, when actually it was only 1 month after I had the gastric bypass. I had lost 70 pounds the first month. I had my surgery February 13th of 2015. That episode aired March of 2015. So I had just lost 70 pounds, I was malnourished, I was in the hospital, and he wanted me to get up? Seriously? I'm bleeding on the bed and you want me to get up? Now, reality TV shows tweaking timelines or rearranging scenes for dramatic effect isn't exactly breaking news. But in Marla's case,
they do that all the time.
It wasn't just misleading, it painted a false picture of her behavior and undermined her commitment to turning her life around. And unfortunately, it wasn't just Marla who walked away from the show feeling mistreated. Season 7 participant Jeannie Covey accused the showrunners of forcing her to film while she was suffering from emotional turmoil.
What does that mean?
You see, Jeannie had to travel to Texas with her mother for the show, leaving her father back home. But about 6 months into the filming process, she noticed that she hadn't heard from him in several days. So she contacted the authorities to request a wellness check, only to be met with devastating news that her father had passed away. The show then showed her returning home and abandoning the weight loss program Dr. Now, the show's host, had designed for her. She later claimed that she and her mother were grieving the loss of her father and asked the producers to stop filming. However, instead of agreeing to her request, the showrunners threatened them with a lawsuit, essentially forcing them to continue filming.
That's crazy. That's not where I thought they were going though. I thought they were gonna go with the producers like held her dad hostage or something and like forced her to like they faked his death or something crazy. I don't know why I just thought like
without caring about her
my brain immediately jumped to the worst.
To one of the most frequent criticisms from former participants, the show's lack of adequate mental health support. In most cases, food addiction is as much of a mental struggle.
God damn, what's on that plate? She eating
mental
dog
health
food?
Support. In most cases, food addiction.
Okay, I'm not no like foodologist, but I believe this is a cinnamon roll right here. This looks like dog food, but I'm assuming it's no, they don't got ribs that look like that, bro. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't know what this is.
Addiction is as
making
much
me
of a
mad.
mental struggle as it is a physical one. However, according to these participants, the showrunners focused heavily on the physical aspects of weight loss. According to these participants, the showrunners
Come on, gang. See, like, I can't feel bad, bro, because, like, what are you eating right now? Okay, no, look. Now, look. The eggs, this is good eats. Bacon, I'm not gonna lie, good eats right here. Toast, this is good. Bro, what do you need? I'm assuming this is yogurt. But, what is this? Not only is he eating cookies for what I'm only assuming to be breakfast, but he's eating the worst possible option for cookies. Unless these are like some type of like protein cookies or something, which I'm almost positive they're not. And that's crazy that he just has them on the same plate though. And I really hope this is yogurt and not ice cream.
Focused heavily on the physical aspects of weight loss while neglecting the crucial mental
that bacon
health
look good though. I ain't gonna lie.
One of these participants is Alicia Kurgan, who alleged that
God
when she brought
damn.
up her declining mental health to the producers, including depression and anxiety, they did not provide any counseling. All she received was a single on-camera therapy.
That's what no. I would say for breakfast, peanut butter cookies, right? Yeah, they're just sugar though. Wait, hold on. Let me see. What cookie is best to eat with breakfast? What cookies? Healthiest breakfast cookie. Do they think I'm stupid? Oatmeal. Didn't even think about that. I think oatmeal chocolate chip might be the best ones. I'm not gonna lie. Nuts and seeds, dried fruit. Stop. People don't eat cookies with fruit in them, bro. I don't believe that that's a real thing.
Session that was completely scripted, but that's not all, because she also accused the showrunners of faking her mental health evaluation before the surgery, claiming that she was given a quote 5-question mental health survey a couple hours before her procedure that asked questions with true or false answers. If she answered one of the questions incorrectly, the producers would take the form away and give her another until she answered all the questions quote correctly. And while Alicia was still able to lose her excess weight and change her life for the
What the? So she went from this? Wow, that's crazy.
better, this alleged lack of mental health facilities could explain why so many of the participants regained their weight after ending the show, since without Dr. Now's stern meal plans, there was nothing that motivated them to continue their weight.
Do all doctors like wear their like badges and certs like on their coat like this? Do we know if this is a real doctor? I'm just asking a question. I genuinely don't know. But I've never seen no doctor wear their stuff on their coat like this before. But I don't visit the doctor too often. Maybe like once a year.
Lost journey. Unfortunately, regaining weight pales in comparison to the toll these mental health struggles allegedly took on James Bonner. James appeared in the 6th season of the show and was doing quite significantly better.
Is it crazy to say James isn't that big? I'm not gonna lie, I've seen some really big people on this show before. James does not look that big.
Than most other contestants.
Today I'm gonna see where my progress is at.
Oh, he's chilling.
Most other
Oh!
contestants.
Where'd his leg go?
Today I'm gonna see where my progress is at, and if I hit my weight loss goals to get me below 392.
Oh, below 392.
Happy with that.
In total, he lost over 316 pounds in just 12 months, and was on
Fire.
track to lose even more.
And I'm hoping I can do something today I haven't done in around 15 years.
Wait, hold on. I like James.
I'm hoping I'll be able to start running.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that one, gang.
That'll mean I can get even more active and
I
hopefully make progress even faster.
don't. Hey,
However, his incredible weight
is no one gonna tell him no? Wait, hold on. Is no one gonna tell him no, bro? That's a lot of like. He's 380, bro. That's still a lot of weight to be putting on your knees, gang, when you running, bro. Please no. Like whenever people are really big, and I be like trying to tell them how to lose weight and stuff like that, bro. I never run, bro. Don't do that, bro. Just do like sit-ups and like, you know what I'm saying, cardio that doesn't require running or putting a whole lot of weight on your joints, bro. Because whenever you lose the weight, your knees and everything are gonna be real like what's it called? Limber? I don't know what the right word is for it, but like that's not good. It's not good if you're big. If you're like 200 or something, like alright, whatever. But like if you're like obese, then no, I wouldn't recommend running for obese people. Maybe walking like long distances, but even then, like I wouldn't even recommend that either. I think it's mainly just like at home shit. Like don't mess up your joints.
lost journey
Not even push-ups or anything either. Like you're pushing up a lot of weight.
tragically cut short on August the 2nd, 2018, when he decided to game over himself. His
Oh.
passing came as a complete shock to everyone who had watched him fight so hard to turn his life around.
Because if I slip and fall, I can get seriously hurt.
No one knew why James would do something like that. That was until early 2020, when his family came forward and blamed his appearance on My 600 Pound Life for his untimely death. According to them, James reached out to one of the show's production assistants with his struggles, sending her messages
171. No, that's not a bad build. That's not bad. That's not bad. I feel like that's normal. That's a normal build. Maybe like lose a couple pounds, but I mean, I ain't no dietitian or nothing. Shit, I don't know. But cause I'm like, I feel pretty good, but I'm like 5'10", 190.
like, I am a effed up wreck right now. I'm not in a good place right now, it's dark, and I had a breakdown. But instead of taking his mental health struggles more seriously, the production assistant allegedly replied with, "Fake it till you make it."
Oh, he texted them that. Oh. Who's the instant fan favorite? Season 6 debuted one of the show's production assistants telling her in text message. And the assistant told him to fake it till you. That's fucked up, bro. That's fucked up. Damn, justice for James, bro.
Completely dismissing the challenges
L
he was
assistant.
facing, which should never have been the case, as his dark thoughts were visible even during the show's production.
There's days where I feel so worthless, I think. I'd be better off in the ground.
To make matters worse, his family
Oh, that makes sense too then, because muscle weighs more. So the more muscle you get, the more you're gonna weigh anyways.
alleged that he was drowning in debt as well, since the show's producers failed to cover the medical expenses they promised they would. His family also took things a step further and filed a $1 million lawsuit against the show's parent company, Megalomedia. If the things they alleged were completely actually true, this should have been a quick and easy victory. However, that's where things took an unexpected turn. You see, while James's family was the first to take legal action against Megalomedia, they were far from the last. Soon after this, other participants, some of which we talked about earlier, also started filing lawsuits against the company for alleged mistreatment, lack of mental health facilities, and failure to pay previously promised medical bills. It wasn't long before Megalomedia was facing lawsuits from 10 different participants. However, instead of the love and support you'd expect these individuals to receive, the online community largely turned against them for being ungrateful. As one person in response to David Bolton's lawsuit about unpaid medical bills wrote, he wanted the costs of medical treatment covered by the show and claims they made it more stressful. Dude would have died without the show, but hey, that's nothing to compare to wanting money, right? Similarly, Jeannie Covey faced backlash, proclaiming the show should have stopped production after her father's death. After all, she signed the contracts willingly, and it wasn't as if the producers forced her to stick with the weight loss plan in the months that followed. With one comment on YouTube writing, right from the start, she had a huge chip on her shoulder. She was a victim, a special case. Nobody understood her. Her gomless mum was serving up meals big enough for 6 people, but neither of them, quote, realized they were
Gormless? Hold on, that's a hold on, I might have to start using that word. Hold on, where they find that word at? Lacking sense or initiative. Foolish. Really? Gormless. Oh, it's a British word, that's why. I ain't gonna lie, I might have to start using that shit. That shit sounded good. That's a good word right there. I like that word.
Diet. Jeannie turned this into a battle between herself and Dr. Now, because she couldn't take responsibility for herself and buckled down.
Like, come on, bro. Is his name Dr. Now? Bro, I don't think it's the real doctor, bro.
Onto dieting.
I'm being honest.
And these weren't the only examples. People had seen many of the contestants that filed a suit act entitled and prideful on the show. This gave them a reason to question and challenge the criticisms these participants raised against the production, with one comment scrutinizing the claims made by James's family following his death, reading, "I think LB's family is just looking to cope with his blank." Which, yes, very tragic, but the weight loss was probably the only happiness he's had in recent years. I think he most likely was suffering in a much deeper way. He worked the program and seemed happy with the results. I think his case will turn out to be a case of some kind of tragic blank in childhood that he was never able to work through. His family needs to put their grief where it belongs instead of latching onto an easy excuse for blank because there are no easy answers. One person with alleged on-set experience also suggested that Megalomedia was likely meticulous with the contracts contestants were required to sign, implying that the lawsuits filed against the company likely won't last long. And that's exactly what happened on the 14th of April 2022, when a Texas court dismissed all the lawsuits in one fell swoop. Now, while the lawsuits were largely dismissed because of the airtight contracts, that doesn't mean the claims were entirely baseless. But unless a future lawsuit moves forward and prevails, there's no way to confirm their validity at this point. That said, there is still plenty of questionable way to confirm their validity at this point. That said,
like, what are these meals, bro? Like, I've never in my life had my dinner served to me and my dessert at the exact same time. I've never had that, bro. Like, she's eating donuts with tacos. I've never seen this before. Like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Fat people are really creative, bro. They really are. They're really creative. Or it's just, well, it's a combination of, like, them being big and then their family members also, like, enabling their behavior and stuff like that. But, I'm not gonna lie. This is, like, a interesting meal. I would wrap the donut up in one of the tortillas, me personally. And I would just stuff all the meat into one tortilla and then use the other one for like one or two of the donuts. And, like, crush up the, like, squeeze the donut, like, to where, like, it's like a tube. And then, like, roll that bitch up and make, like, a donut burrito. I'm not gonna lie. Is that a thing? Has that ever been? Hold on. Let me just. I just feel like, is that my first original thought? Donut burrito? Fuck! Never mind. I'll get there one day, bro. I'm trying to transcend, like, my mental and shit. I'm trying to be, like, top 0.1%. I'm gonna get there one day.
There are still plenty of questionable things about My 600 Pound Life that continue to cast a
God damn, wait, hold on.
There are still plenty of questionable things about My 600 Pound.
Okay, hold on, we got some. Is that sausage? I don't know what this is right here, unless it's more sausage. I thought it was a muffin at first. Oh, she turned them into breakfast tacos. Oh, okay. And then she got the apple juice or possibly orange juice. I can't tell. Either way, it's a good drink right here. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 pancakes? God dang, she ain't even got that much syrup on them. Oh my God, is her mouth wet? I ain't gonna lie, she better than me, bro. I need my syrup drenched on my pancakes. I ain't gonna lie, my mouth be drying out too quick.
Life that continue to cast a shadow over its legacy, like the humiliating shower scene that's shown while introducing each new contestant. Many fans see them as degrading and exploitative.
Wait, I've never seen a fat person shower before. Is that they do that all the time on the show? Actually, never mind. I think I might have seen it one time. Because the only one I really remember is that one. I think the guy actually was 600 pounds, and he was a kindergarten teacher. And then, like, one of the comments was like, "Oh yeah, I hope he doesn't fall on one of the kids." And like, that's the only one I really remember. Like, I don't eat. Well, I've gotten around to just like eating food in general for breakfast. Like, it doesn't have to be eggs, pancakes, or whatever, right? Like, I'd prefer to start it off with some eggs, but, you know, it doesn't have to be. But breakfast food is generally like the same, like 4 or 5 things.
Which begs the question, why do the cast members even agree to do these extremely embarrassing scenes in the first place? For a while, there was a rumor floating around on the internet that participants were paid over $1,000 for that scene alone, which was almost as much as they received for a full episode. However, Angie J, who was on the show at one point, clarified this on Reddit, and according to her, there is no—
Wait, they get paid $1,000 an episode? That's it? I don't know how many episodes the show lasts, but it doesn't sound like it's too crazy though.
Extra pay for it. But the shower scene is pretty much mandatory as part of showing the participants' daily life. In other words, anyone hoping to appear on the show and receive help must first agree to that scene, even if it comes at the cost of their dignity. But
I mean, like, alright, honestly, at the end of the day, it's like, alright, you got a shower scene of you being naked. I mean, not naked, whoa. Of you whenever you were fat. But then, like, hopefully by the end of the show, you're not that same person anymore. So, like, if anything, it's like a way to look back and be like, damn, bro, just, like, I remember how bad that shit was. Like, I ain't going through that shit again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not even the end of it. Because on top of all the shady stuff that's allegedly going on behind the scenes, there are some serious—
Oh, yeah, cereal. I haven't eaten cereal for breakfast in, oh my God. I just eat cereal as, like, a snack now. It's not really much of a, like, meal anymore. But yeah, sandwiches are pretty good for breakfast too.
Issues with what the show actually chooses to put on camera, and nothing highlights this better than Dr. Mike's reaction to one of the show's episodes on his channel, where he raised concerns from the moment
Now that's a real fucking doctor.
Now began his procedure.
And you have responsibility to your kids. So from this point on, we are going to make changes in your eating habit.
This is a very old school way of doctoring, where you tell a patient that you have children, you need to do better for them, and you try and lecture a patient. But in most instances, the way that you get a patient to where they want to be is by asking them the questions and getting them to a place where they say, I need to do this for my kids. Just the fact that they vocalized it rather than you did will already go further in their success rate.
And that's why he's a real fucking doctor right there. That's why he's a real doctor, bro. I like the way Dr. Mike be talking, bro.
This was followed by Dr. Now outlining the participants' dietary plan, which Dr. Mike also found somewhat concerning.
To stick with the low-carb diet and eat only 3 times a day and no snacking. This will be a 1,200 calorie.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Hopefully she sliding my man's a plate right here, bro. He's looking like he not too unless something happened along the way genetically to where he's bearing the child. I don't know what the hell he got right here. But he definitely need to, hey, you see what she eating, bro. You need to be eating some of that too, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying how they expect her to go from eating what she's eating to a 1,200 calorie diet.
Facts. If she's eating 10,000 a day, you gotta lower her down to 8,000, then 7,000, then 6. You know what I'm saying? Eventually get her down. Like, bro, you're literally just gonna fucking starve her, bro. Like, that ass. She's gonna be miserable for like the first couple weeks. Like, that's not how you get somebody on her diet.
3 times.
I got you, Mike. You ain't even gotta say nothing, bro. I got you, gang. Like,
I just feel like you're
you don't even gotta say it.
Person for failure on
Facts.
that. She's gonna have massive cravings,
Yep.
especially with the difficulties of her job. It's
Facts.
gonna make her sad. It's gonna make her uncomfortable.
Facts.
And Dr. Now's plan for incorporating exercise into the participants'
Fuck Dr.
routine
Now, bro.
wasn't much better either.
You're able to
Me and Dr. Mike got this, bro.
and walk.
And you want her to exercise and walk with 1,200 calories? I mean, it's just completely unreasonable.
Facts.
Do a lot of walking.
Or how much you can walk before you feel tired and
What do you mean, how much can you walk? Gang, do you see her?
give up.
Maybe like from here to your waiting room.
She should really be working with a nutritionist to figure out what she's already consuming and make changes from there, as opposed to getting a cookie cutter 1,200 calorie recommendation and telling her to exercise when she's never exercised before. It's
Facts.
just going to be a major shock to the system. I think even the most well-intentioned patient is going to struggle with that.
Even the way Dr. Now, quote, approved the surgery didn't sit right with Dr. Mike.
You're making good progress, and I think you're gonna be a good candidate for weight loss surgery, okay? But you still have a BMI close to 100. So I'm gonna send you.
BMI close to 100. Is that high? What's the average? 29. Oh shit. Obese is 30 or higher? Oh my god.
You to the hospital so we can run some tests on you, make sure you are safe for anesthesia. If all those tests are good, I'll approve you for surgery.
I hate that he says it as if like he needs to approve. We'll send you to the hospital for some special tests to make sure it's safe for you to go for the surgery. Not for me to decide if it's safe. You're not deciding. The tests are deciding whether or not it's safe for the patient. It's in their best interest. It's not you gatekeeping it.
So, while Dr. Now is known for being stern yet patient with participants, there's still room for improvement when it comes to his overall approach and methodology, which he still has plenty of time to do.
Bro, I've never seen him use this shit.
Methodology.
Bro, why does he always just got this? What is this? This is a stethoscope, right? Fuck. Shit. Stethoscope. Shit. Yeah. How do I say this shit? Stethoscope. Yeah. He got that bullshit on his neck all the time, bro.
Which
he's not
still has
using
plenty
it.
of time to do, since the show isn't going anywhere. While its viewership has been on the decline since 2021, it's still
everybody's
popular
viewership
enough to warrant new seasons, even 13 years after it first aired on TV. The only way it might truly fall out of favor is if major revelations surface about the alleged abuse, exploitation, and neglect going on behind the scenes, which, given the 10 dismissed lawsuits, seems highly unlikely.
It's facts. Oh, it's 550 now. 185. I did it. 3,000. 30,000 calories? Oh my god. Had my surgery at 320. Feel great and don't regret the thing. Yeah, if you go from 550 to... What did you go to? 550 to 320? I ain't gonna lie, yeah, bro. You kind of earned that surgery, gang. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not good if you go from doing absolutely nothing, you just roll off of the couch, to getting your surgery, and then you try to act like you're about to be healthy now. Like, that shit's cap. But you might want to be on reality TV. No, you don't. It's poison. 600-pound life is crazy, though. I ain't gonna lie. I'd just be on one of them garbage reality TV shows, like Love Island or some stupid shit, because I feel like I could just have fun on there.